Welcome to Derry. Season 1 debuts today, you guys, and I am beyond excited for later this evening. I am hyped. We've all been waiting so long for this series. No doubt in my mind, I think Andy Muschietti and the creative team behind this, they will be doing it justice. What's really exciting to me, at least, is we get to explore so much more of the lore, all the unknowns that we potentially never knew about, dating back all the way to 1908. If you guys didn't know, there's going to be 3 seasons, and each season will be going back 27 years. So season 1 takes place in 1962, 27 years before the very first film. Season 2, 1935, and the final season, season 3, will take place in 1908, which I am really excited about. I think it's a brilliant idea to go through these timelines like that. There's so much you can explore. I am hyped. But the big question is, you guys, who ultimately a lot of fans want to know, who is this Robert Bob Gray character? You've seen him in It Chapter 1, in a photograph, in a very brief scene with Beverly, where he was like pulling down the makeup, you know what I mean? I am so fascinated by this particular character and why Pennywise ultimately took the manipulation of the manifestation of that character in order to haunt Derry. And you have to keep this in mind. He's an entity. He feeds off your fear, right? Like most damn horror villains, right? He feeds off your fear. And what you're terrified of and scared of, he will utilize that in order to lure you in and scare the shit out of you. And then, evidently so, absolutely devour your body. We're talking bones and all. I mean, look what he did to my boy. Oh, little Georgie. So heartbreaking, you guys. I'll admit, the Tim Curry scene hit me more than the remake one. Something about the Tim Curry one, the little boy, which is so much more adorable. I was just like, dude, still to this day, man, just absolute heartbreaking. I hate watching that opening sequence. But what's really interesting to me, you guys, is this Robert Bob Gray character. Now, this is what Andy Muschietti had to say. The misconception is that it can only be one thing, one creature at a time, but it's part of the canon, even in the book, that he creates an hallucination, he creates collective creatures, no true form, which is really interesting to me. Like I stated, being able to really manipulate your fears and turn himself whatever he wants to in order to lure you in so he can devour you. So we've got confirmation that we will be exploring this character, Robert Bob Gray, in this season, you guys, which is really fun. So the new prequel series is expected to explore Bob Gray's origins even further, potentially depicting at a time when Bob Gray was a real circus performer in Derry before the entity took its form. So I'm really curious to see it eventually first show up on Earth, right? And see this particular character, Robert Bob Gray, and understanding and utilizing what he's doing as a circus performer. It's all for the crowd. It's all for the children. The children love the clown. The children love the performance. That's what drew them in. And that's where the entity of it sees that. And it's like, I can ultimately use that to lure in the children of Derry, creating Pennywise the clown. But I want to know if this Bob character was a real, true character to the canon and lore. And if it ultimately ended up killing him, that's going to be really interesting to me. Really, really interesting. So, who is Robert Bob Gray? In the novel, it sometimes refers to itself by the name Robert Bob Gray. This is an intentional detail by King to make the cosmic horror more unsettling by having it use a mundane, a human name. In It Chapter 2, adult version of Beverly Marsh sees a photograph of a man with clown makeup on his face who is similar to Pennywise. She learns that this man was named Bob Gray, a circus clown who was the basis for the form to be adopted by Pennywise. Now keep this in mind. Pennywise ultimately has been in various, human forms over the course, the case of, the last 2 films. We've seen it before. In It Chapter 2, Beverly visits her old home, right? Where, she was raised and, she lived with her dad in that apartment or whatever. And, Mrs. Kirsch it took form of a human. So this isn't anything new. We see zombified Georgie. It took form of a zombified version of Georgie. A reanimated corpse of Patrick, assisting Henry Bowers, his homie, which is, that's even crucial, right? So this isn't the first time, or the crazy one, right? Where, the disease leaper, when he was going after Eddie, which is absolutely just disgusting. Apparently it's very symbolic to the rotten decay that it represents, that Eddie was absolutely just terrified of. Because you think about it, he was a germaphobe. You know what I mean? Placebos, his mom she always told him there was something wrong with him. You're always sick, you're always ill. But the physical manifestation of Eddie, the deep-seated phobia, that's ultimately what he used to terrify Eddie in It Chapter 1. So with this Robert Bob Gray character, I am really heavily invested in the idea of, going back and, understanding this character's origin and just how important it is, to the lore of Derry. Because like I said, the fact that he took this particular image, this manifestation, and, adopted it over, all the years he's been in Derry, that ultimately means that manifestation was the most powerful one that Pennywise was able to create or manipulate in order to kill the children of Derry, right? It makes all the sense in the world, but I am so excited about, this first season and how, like I said, it dates back to 1962. We get to know or learn so much more within the Derry lore, what's truly happening behind Derry, and what's happened with this core group of characters. Because we don't know outside. Yeah, we have no idea if these characters even survive what's going to happen in this first season. Ultimately, they don't end up defeating Pennywise because there's a whole nother film that takes place after this season, the very first film. So Pennywise ultimately ends up winning in 1908, 1935, and 1962 until the very first film and the second film, where he's defeated. So I'm excited. I'm really pumped. I hope I clarify a little bit of who this Robert Bob Gray character is that they're going to, potentially explore the origins of, in these, first couple of seasons of It Welcome to Derry. I'm really, really excited to, like I said, jump into the lore of this stuff because, like I said, it's going to be quite new. It's going to be quite fascinating. There's going to be stories we've, never really got all the way through or fleshed out, in any particular way. Like the massive fire, I believe, in 1935 that they're going to explore in season 2. I forgot where that was. Oh my God. Was it at the circus? Oh, I forgot where that was. Someone in the comments down below, let me know where that fire was. But I'm hyped. I cannot wait. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about who this particular character, Robert Bob Gray, is and how pivotal this character could potentially be and we could learn of in these first 3 seasons. Honest thoughts and opinions. If you guys did your own research, let me know. Let's have a fun and engaging conversation about It Welcome to Derry, all with open arms. And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching SeaWorld Productions. Peace.